Now, it's been a good season for cricket in South Africa as the Proteas continued their bid to become the best cricket side in the world. And to chat to us about the good year that has been and the future of cricket in the country, sports journalist Thando Gqamane joins us on the show. Dlala, thank you very much for taking the time to be with us. The last time you contributed to our show, Thando Manana for the special. Thank you very much for that one because it went very well. So another time that you are here, cutting straight into it, before we get into cricket, another loss for the Springboks. What's your take on it? Because now people have been asking for Allister Coetzee resignation.
Yeah, thanks, Madala, for the honor. You know, I think a lot of people are finding it very difficult to deal with the inconsistency. Yes, Springboks. And I really don't want to jump and say Allister Coetzee this and that, because Vele, he does all the hard work in the training ground. The players need to step up in the field. They need to be consistent. I mean, it's very, very bizarre why se performer against in New Zealand and Sikade performer against in New Zealand Pel. And we only do that once they show us, okay, you are still there. And where you think you are or where you want to be. So there's a lot of things that we need to do right, especially in the structures of rugby in the country, from schoolboy right up there to the Springboks. All of that needs to start by the coaching staff. Our players, Matala, they will always give their all. But if there's no synergy, we are going to fire coach after coach, coach after coach. And it's very also bizarre what I heard what is Peter de Villiers or Peter de Villiers manch. I'm not sure. Maybe we can dissect it a bit further now. Tinas's Kulumanga coaches in general and also different sporting codes for South African sports. But something really needs to give. And I'm not sure if everybody's going to be happy, Masfarishu Allister Coetzee, because I really don't think that's what's going to solve the situation.
A good season for South African cricket. We just came back from the test T20 series in Bangladesh, which puts us in a kind of good what do you call this position as we go to Zimbabwe and the following one, which is India. Yeah,
I think Matala, they've showed their intent, the Proteas. Congratulations firstly to them, and also Otis Gibson. It's Matala. I think we've all been waiting to see South Africa play the kind and the brand of cricket. It's the same thing with the rugby, if I touch on it. You know, not to digress, Madala, but a lot of people were asking themselves, why is Allister Coetzee? Allister Coetzee has been playing this kind of rugby, high intensity rugby, which is from 0 to 80 minutes with the Stormers. He played this kind of rugby when he was there with Jake White, you know, in 2007 and then the years before that. So, but we just take time, Tina, because we are protecting certain histories and certain, I would like to call them agendas, because even like with cricket, front foot cricket, it's almost as if Dlala a hit and run. You understand? You drop the ball, you run. It's very risk-free cricket. There's less risk whatsoever. For instance, if you look at how the Proteas played Kulama T20 series and even Nagma Test series, a lot of the players got time to go and bat, and they spent time in the crease, which is what's most important, before Dlala in Australia, before Figi India in Jan, and obviously before Zimbabwe Manj. So it's very heartwarming. We are continuously developing the nature of the game as Dlala. Just the structure that we need. The Springboks need to do the same. The Springboks need to have an understanding from top down, right up to primary school, where this is the brand of rugby that we play as South Africa. Not that there's the wrong coach at the helm and so forth.
Inclusion, Yaga Otis Gibson now into the Protea side as well. How has that benefited the Proteas?
He comes in from an outside perspective.
Let's look at his credentials first.
Yes. He won the World T20 Cup, I think it was in 2012 with the West Indies. He was very unfortunate not to win the 50-over format thereafter, because most of as players were in the T20 World Cup. It was more or less the same players that went to the 50-over World Cup. Unfortunately, he didn't do that well. There was a lot of West Indies in Galaclash. You know, they were also in a bit of a dispute with the cricket board, players, So since then, he went to England, where your coach in England. he has a very rich history coming back to South Africa from early days. I mean, he used to play for Reporter, he played for Griquas, he also came and played for the Lions before he went and played county cricket. So I'm a credential as well. He's built his pedigree up, and from England, I mean, look at Apo Afika Kone England, Ufika kuna Stuart Broad or James Anderson. Thando Gqamane, top English bowlers. But even Nalabo, I mean, 500 wickets, 300 wickets, those guys, you don't really need to uber coacher something that they don't know. You just need to manage them. Try and get the best out of them. And I think we are at the stage where we've got a coach now who comes in from an outside perspective, who's going to try and get the best out of the players, because we certainly have players that are very good.
But of course, the conversation will continue as well, Oguti. The idea was for us to get a local coach.
Yeah.
And then we're going to, I mean, now we find an international coach who comes in, is able to do the job.
Yeah.
So going back to what we're talking about, Oguti, kanti into yethu yini, do we get a local coach who will not be able to perform, or do we get an international, just like what you were saying, Oguti, just so that we can maintain the history or the legacy that we have?
Yeah. That's it's always a bitter pill to swallow, because ngathi siyathuliswa, yabona, umuntu omnyama, yabona. So ngathi siyathuliswa, because I think we all know that we've been crying, and there are a few black African coaches who are doing very well in franchise. I mean, Jeffrey Toyana, everybody knows him, Nama Lions. The one thing that I really like about indlela naye Otis ayenze ngayo, he's looking at 2019, which is his mandate. 2019 World Cup, bring it home. Thereafter, sizokhuluma ke if maybe we need to retain you. If we don't retain him, for instance, Umalibongwe Maketa, he did very well with the Titans as assistant coach for like 4 to 5 years. Rob Walter won trophies every year. We were very surprised when he did not get the job after Rob Walter decided to leave and go to New Zealand, because he also thought that he will not get the Proteas job, and it was given to Russell Domingo. So when he left Rob Walter, supposedly Umalibongwe Maketa bekufanele bana nguye owavele wangena. I-Titans decide bana no, sizawufumana enye coach, which is Mark Boucher by now. So I like indlela ahambe ngayo until he got to this point. He's done the hard yards, and if we get to 2019, we don't win the World Cup, who is the successor of Otis Gibson? You first have to at least look at who is his backroom staff. And assistant coach is no one else, there's no one else who's in a better position to take over. Yeah, well, we needed at this stage to take the team out of the comfort zone. All the coaches that have been there before have worked in South Africa. They have worked with the players. So it's a very good thing that we could get a coach who's just going to take it from le level bakuyo, because they're very good. Ayithathe le level ayoyibeka apha, which is World Cup winning standards.
The one thing that we can look at now, just quick one, Madala Oguti, at least when we talk about the issue of transformation on the coaching side as well, we can say that we are moving in the right direction.
Yeah, kakhulu Madala, because at the same time, I think even all sporting codes, buka ku PSL right now, just to reference, 10 years ago, we did not have as many black African coaches who are coaching PSL teams. Who thought there would be a black South African coaching in Mamelodi Sundowns? You understand? Who thought they would win a Champions League, CAF Champions League?
And he just finished 5 years with Sundowns.
And naye usebenzile uPitso, because uqalile na South Africa and waphinda wabuyela, tested in the club in our domestic league. So it's very good to see Sundowns ilaphayana. The same thing with the cricket. You know, we will get to a point whereby we are all very happy because there's a black African coach at the helm. But that's not what we should be striving for. We should strive to udlala to the point that sidlala kahle. Then anyone at the helm is just there to manage the players, just to make sure bana the players, they don't rest on their laurels. They do what's needed for them to do in order for them to perform at the peak. So we are getting there in all sporting codes in terms of transformation. I mean, black African coach and Alistair Coetzee also with the Springboks, talks of Peter de Villiers making a comeback. And
a quick one, in a space of 10 seconds, we've got this series that is coming up against Zimbabwe. We've got also India after that. Where do we stand in as the Proteas against this team? Quick in 10 seconds.
Good state, Madala. I'm really interested to see Bani India, what are they going to bring to the table? They've already started preparing for us. I've seen the series in Sri Lanka manje. They've made the wicket green for fast bowlers. They've put 3 or 4 fast bowlers in their bowling attack as well. Something like that. So it's good to see Tina. We just need to front up and do what we do best. And I think Siamba wave a right ka Otis keeps in. So we just need to ride that wave. Front foot aggressive cricket. That's the only thing that's going to win us the World Cup.
Dlala, siyabonga for taking the time to be with us on the show. It's another honor again,
Thanks,
especially
Madala.
after, like I mentioned, that special that you contributed to. All the best with what's coming for you. I know you'll be working in these Proteas games that are coming up, so all the best from your side as well.
Thanks, Madala, man.
Sibonge. Now on the show after the break, the sports don gets on his golf court again to catch up with the only black South African PGA pro. See you after the break.